Today we have a movie review and analysis. This is the first one for the Chef Maurice. Remember, we paid this motherfucker $100 million for 4-year exclusivity contract. So yeah, he's gonna see some movies too. He's gonna review shit. And,
You can
and again,
you can see that the check went through, or the Venmo went through because
because you got a new hat.
We have a new hat.
Is that new for real?
It is new. I just got it.
Did you get it online buying?
Unfortunately, yes.
Because that's not your style. You like to buy it in
No.
the stadium,
I like to go to the stadium, but this one's in the other side of the
right? That's
state.
for the Washington.
Washington Nationals
Is that Washington Capital or Washington State?
capital.
Okay. And that those little flowers is because that's like now their additional theme, or their, like all the teams now in the baseball league are getting this like extra theme, right? And
So they bring something from the city, and Washington D.C. is known for the cherry blossoms.
All right.
So I guess it's a play on the cherry blossom. I think
that-
it was very, very cute.
no, I think it's
Very
cute.
cute.
It's a pink because the light
is
is making
pink.
it look a bit white. I mean, I'll probably fix it. I mean, not me, the editor.
The editor,
But
it is pink.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll color grade it. I mean, they know how to do the things.
Yeah.
All right. So this is your first movie review and
I'm
analysis.
nervous. I'm nervous.
I
I might say the wrong thing.
You should be nervous because, like all the viewers and the hearers, too, the hearers, not the listeners, the hearers.
Here's.
They know that if any of you leave a negative comment about Chef Maurice, he's fucking out. I've said it. Because I will not fail the people that follow this podcast. The Broski Doodles podcast is a fucking strict place of work. We have many editors, many publishing people going out there and doing their fucking job.
Their fucking job.
So any negative comment, I mean, right now, by just saying all those words, YouTube is not going to show this to anyone. So if you're watching this, it's because you love this thing. Chef Maurice is like, really? So how is this going to grow? It ain't, motherfucker.
It ain't.
No, but the movie reviews are always fun, and I'm happy to have Chef Maurice join the team now, because I have him doing the movie reviews on my own for a minute, and sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes you get lonely out there, and when you start getting lonely, you start thinking about like negative shit. Right? When you got too much time to think, you start thinking about dark shit, and then you start realizing like, oh wait, everybody dies, and then it's like, what? My dog just died. But if you're not lonely, then you don't think about those things.
Right.
KIKO, contact a psychiatrist. Okay, so we're gonna review Air.
Air.
I rewatched it last night so that I could be fresh, because I had seen it a few weeks back, and Ben Affleck fucking produced this shit, directed it, and I gotta say I'm not a fan
Of the movie or Ben Affleck?
of Ben.
I'm not a fan either. But
I don't like him.
there have been a couple of good movies that he has made. Gone Girl, one of my favorites. From him.
The girl in that movie is amazing.
Because she's...
No, I mean as an actress.
Oh, as an actress. Okay.
You fucking misogynist piece of shit. You're objectivizing women. I don't even think that's a word.
Argo. Also a good
Argo.
movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't like some of his movies, but like for example, Good Will Hunting, the one that he did with Matt Damon and he wrote it. That movie is shit. It's all about like, oh yeah, I'm smart, I'm hot, I beat up people, and I fuck ladies. Yeah, you're this shit, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. That
So
part-
real life.
That's not real life. Hell no. But yeah, I mean, Matt Damon, I'm really cool with. We go out and play golf. No, I really like his stuff.
Who do you like better? I mean, well,
I
you
like
said
Matt
I think
Damon a
Matt
lot
Damon.
better. Yeah.
Do you like him because of the Bourne movies? The
No,
Bourne
actually, I've
Identity
never
movies?
seen any Bourne movies. So actually, those movies is for me to watch. No, I like him just. Well, he's in Air. I mean, the bad thing about Matt Damon is you're gonna find him in a lot of movies with Ben Affleck, which I don't want to see, right?
Because they're friends.
Yeah, because they're friends and they make everything together. But Matt Damon on The Departed was amazing.
Best fucking movie ever.
That's one of the best movies.
One of my favorites.
The Departed, amazing. So Air, let's get to it. Air.
Talk so much shit.
So this talks about the route that it took for Nike to get together with Michael Jordan and how important that union was for both of their successes and careers. And and really it puts it in perspective because for us, even though Nike has grown, I was recently showing you like a video with Drake, like Nike's on another level now. But even 20 years ago, you and me thought of Nike like as a big household brand, and you don't really think about how they were before. And when you see this movie, you really see how they were the underdog. And I mean, obviously, the movie makes it look more, a little more brighter than it was. I would assume, 'cause it's a movie, but it's still like a very crazy miracle type shit that happened there in that mixture. So, what are your initial thoughts on this one?
I like how they call it the Nike movie. I think it's a little bit more than the Nike movie, right? It's not about Nike per se. It's how Nike became, or did the first step to become what it is today. I think without Jordan, Nike is not what it is today, and without Nike, Jordan is not what it is today. I think Jordan would have became a big player still, but I think Nike helped them become something bigger than life. I
You
mean,
would say that they not only on the business side,
of course, I
that
think,
you would say like even in this in his performance in the court.
well, the shoes made him run and jump higher, right? That's what the movie said.
No,
It
that's
has
not
to
what
be
the movie
true.
says.
Well, they did say that the shoes were gonna make him jump higher or run faster, which I mean, they're trying to sell their product. So and how they portray the Adidas, Converse, and Nike, like how all these other players, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, were in these big companies. And if Michael were there or were to go there, he was just going to be, you know, the second, he was always going to be overlooked because
Right.
Magic and Larry or Larry Bird were bigger than Michael at the time. And I think that partnership was perfect, the Nike and Michael Jordan, because
Yeah.
he was the staple of that brand for so long. He had his own shoes. So
It's his own brand today.
yeah, I mean the Air
Jordan, right?
Jordan, yeah.
I don't know if they're still within Nike type thing, like pyramid style stuff. I mean, he still gets a chunk of that, but
A big ass.
and I mean, and this movie is just the beginning of that. We're not even talking about what happens after, which
Right.
is all the Jordan shoes and that movement today, which I'm not part of. I've never owned a pair of Jordans, not because I don't like them. It's just the always I think being expensive for me,
Too
and I've never
expensive.
and I never had that thing, about them. But my cousins and shit, they're always like, "Oh, I got the 17s. Oh, I got the Jordan retros. This shit." So that's cool. But one thing I noticed that I really liked about the cinematography of the movie is that when it starts, you can feel the 80s vibe, right? Um, and that's Ben Affleck directing it, so I gotta give him props. I actually did like this movie. I didn't like his character in the movie. I found him like not even believable. Because at
But
times he would be like an asshole, but almost like a dumbass. Like
like huh?
like like he looked at the end when like the whole thing he was deciding if he goes or if he doesn't. He's like, all right, I'll do. It's like it 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 didn't land well on me, and I didn't believe his character. It almost felt like it almost felt like he knew he was trolling the character, and that threw me off. But anyway, I mean, it didn't mess up like the vibe of the movie. Um, it, it is crazy to think that that company was able to do what it did. But one thing that I did notice that I thought of when it happened is the first fight they have, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, is about the fact that he needs more money, right? To get better players. And this guy's telling him, look, I need to justify this to the board, right? And he's like, fuck, I told you not to go public because now you have to, serve these motherfuckers and they have now a say in what you do. And to me, I felt that because I'm like, damn, that is true. That's like what happened with Apple. And you could argue also that on the other side, if you didn't have the investment of those people and they did take control of the company a bit, you wouldn't have been able to grow as much. Who knows? But it is also true that, Steve Jobs, Phil Knight, they got to where they were by having a company that they were able to themselves do whatever they wanted and take risks without having to fucking get shit approved. And I know that bureaucracy that's annoying as fuck about like a corporate environment. So that first fight lets you know, look, this motherfucker, Matt Damon, he's playing the old rules. Like, bro, I come here, I do what the fuck I do. You asking me, you need to tell the board what is it that I do. I do what I do, motherfucker. You know what it is. And I like that too. I like that little feeling of like, look, trust me, I get results and that's it. Don't fucking micromanage me. I don't need to send you reports on bullshit. And you right away feel like Phil Knight is a piece of shit, right? You don't sympathize with him because he's the motherfucker that doesn't want to give the money to do the thing.
Well, but you understand. It's part of, I guess, it's part of going public, and now he has to answer to people, which he didn't have to do before. So yes, I like that part too. How Matt Damon is just telling him, if we want to get better, if we want to be bigger, we need to get more money so we can sign this motherfucker.
Yeah. Now it's also true that when you watch it, you're like, yeah, dude. Give him the money. He's Michael Jordan, but they don't know that yet, right?
Right.
But we know that. But it's hard to not. It's hard not to get that influence, because you start feeling like, yeah, of course. Why you not trusting it? But in their mind, it's like this guy could be the many players that we've gotten that never got anywhere.
Because it's funny because they mention other players from that same draft that Michael Jordan. And not a lot of those players panned out. They didn't become the stars that
isn't that crazy?
Thought. And it's crazy how Matt Damon's character, which was Vaccaro?
I don't know. When I do these reviews, I always go by the name of the actor. I just
it felt like he scouted Michael Jordan for a while, so he knew. And how he was watching the videos of him at college and how just right away he's like, this guy's a superstar, he's ambitious, he's a very good competitor, which, it's hard because how many players historically have been very high draft picks, very good rated, and then once they go into the league, any league or any sport, they just don't pan out.
Yeah.
So and like that was.
I can relate this a lot to football more, but it happens when a big player, right? Like what?
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer. Like when a big player, like for example, back in the day, Neymar, when he went from like the Brazilian league, right, where he was killing it, did they buy him straight to Barcelona? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, they bought him straight to Barcelona. You still gotta see like, okay, how is he going to perform in the highest level? And as much as you want to think this motherfucker dances with everybody in the Brazilian league, you still don't know. And it's the same with Jordan, right? Yeah. But this guy saw the right things because he was like, look, when your teammates rely on you when there's the last second because they know you're the guy that has the most security, you're confident, you're chilling, you relax, you're the one that's not gonna break when you go to the big leagues and now you have to face the monsters that are there. But it's hard to get that magic thing. It reminds me of Moneyball when Brad Pitt, we have to review that movie. When Brad Pitt says to the scouts, the old scouts, he tells them, look, you guys say to the parents of the kids, oh, I know your kid has this, I know your kid has that, but you don't know shit. Because we don't know. It's all a fugazi.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here, but in a way that there is this magic thing, and this guy was able to see it. And, well, they won big.
And
they got the equity, which was the thing that they couldn't, do, but they did. They were like, look, He wants
I
equity.
remember one of the players that they mentioned was Melvin Turpin. That Nike wanted to sign this like three players at a lower cost instead of the 500,000 for one player. They wanted to sign, three players. Melvin Turpin. I had never heard of this name before. I knew he was a player. He only played 5 seasons in the NBA, not panning out to anything. He was very below average. Can you imagine if Nike would have done
They wouldn't
that?
exist.
Right. They even mentioned that, if this doesn't happen, the basketball section of Nike is just going to have
Well, I mean,
to.
they wouldn't exist as they do today, right? They will still have
Right,
running
right.
shoes, which is
Or
what they
maybe
were
they would
big
have,
on.
maybe 20 years later, they would have not even exist anymore. I do think that Jordan just brought Nike to another level. Now, now Nike has soccer jerseys. They have the whole NFL jerseys. So every NFL, the football league, no, American football, all their jerseys are Nike. Same with baseball. All their jerseys are sponsored by Nike.
I find that to be a little bit like American. It's very American, where like the whole league has a brand. Because in football or soccer,
Yeah.
each team has its own sponsors, and I think gives it a little bit more of a. It's less uniform.
Right.
I don't. That's not redundant, but just ironic because
That's
they are wearing
that's.
uniforms.
I do think it's very American
Okay.
because all the leagues have their own brand.
Like in
That
baseball, everybody has New Era caps. And
right, and
apparently
then
they rejected a celebration with a big ass hat because it's not New Era. Yo, that's fucked up. I must start buying only 47 hats, which I like. Even I like it anyways better. No, I like 47. Are you more New Era?
I am.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
more 47.
It's okay.
That's cool though.
You have your choice.
You have a
Your body,
choice.
your choice.
Okay, I have a question for you because obviously we want to get into the film parts because we want to give a review and analysis of the film as well, not just the story that happened. What do you think about the director's choice, right, Ben Affleck, to not show Michael Jordan's face?
I thought it was interesting. I, bec- I thought it was interesting because the movie was not about Michael Jordan. The movie was not about Michael. The movie was about Nike and how they got Michael. So I thought it was interesting and I liked it. Because imagine if they would have put some guy to do as Michael and then he needed to act and then Michael wasn't going to prove it because the real the real Michael Jordan wasn't going to prove it because or he was just going to ask for too much money, right? I think he still got money out of this because they're using his name, his brand. But I do like that they didn't show his face
I have
and they focus more
reservations.
on his family.
I have reservations, and I understand that this allowed the movie to not be focused on Michael Jordan because the movie wasn't about Michael Jordan itself. And I understand that people would have been too distracted by whoever played Michael Jordan, and the rest of the movie would have been weird. I guess maybe. And I understand what you said about like maybe Michael Jordan would have charged more if you're gonna use like. But for some reason, some scenes felt strange because the camera wouldn't even point at his face, and he would just say answers like, "Oh yeah, okay, okay, yeah." And it's like that's not how it happened. I mean, that guy must have had like some conversations, and I think that I understand would have been harder because you would have needed to get someone to nail that character. Like it needed to be fucking amazing. I get that. But I just think it would have given it an extra thing. Didn't you feel when you were watching the movie that at one point you're like, oh, I'm going to see Michael Jordan speak? And you didn't. Never.
Right. And as soon as the movie ended, that's the first thing I said. I'm like, I didn't see Michael at all. But that made me, I don't know, it made me, because I know his story. I know his mom, like, we're not friends, we're not homies. But I've read about him and how his dad passed away, but he was a big influence in his life, and his mom is like a big supporting system in his life. So I like how they focus more on his parents. Maybe for Michael, it's good because maybe when he watched the movie, he teared up probably because it brought back memories. But I like that part how the mom was in charge of Michael's basically decisions since he was 18 or still a young age, and I really I liked it. As soon as the movie ended, I was like, okay, I didn't see him. Why was that?
But
But
you
I kept.
understood okay.
I
You
thought about it.
agreed with that decision.
I did. I did. I
Okay.
liked it. I thought it was,
Okay.
and like I said before, this movie is not about Michael, but it's about how the partnership came about. And I think it was great.
Okay.
It was great.
I mean, I
It
have
was
a
great.
little bit of a feeling that instead of going deep into things, they left only a little bit out, and I can understand from your side why you think that's fine. I will say that
I
even
mean,
though I like the movie, I do think part of me feels like maybe in a parallel world, I would like to see that movie with that extra character added in because you know why? Also because we don't really have a movie about Michael Jackson.
Michael Jordan.
Sorry, we do have a
Close
movie about
enough.
Michael Jackson. We have a documentary where he talks about the kids and stuff.
Hey.
No, but yeah, Michael Jordan, we don't really have a movie about him. Or maybe he's working on one and that's why he didn't want to show his face.
We
Maybe.
we do have a movie about him. If you want to know anything about Michael, you can just watch Space Jam. That's real.
Um, okay, let me move on to not to the next thing. The mom, Viola Davis, amazing. I love that actress. I love her. She's always
She's
she
great.
always kills it.
She's always great. I love her.
And that's the type of mom you'd want to have. I mean, I love the mom I have, but that's the mom you want to have too. Like that's the type of mom that anyone would want to have. That's like she's gonna fight for your shit like to the top. So
We're gonna ask a producer to put the Michael Jordan's face, the meme, the one that he's crying here, so you can see. So I saw the that meme came about because he was crying when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he was talking about his mom. So he cried, and he basically said, "You're the real MVP," without having to say that.
and that's when he
So
started crying
yeah,
live in an interview.
well, he was accepting like the honor to get into the Hall of Fame, so he was giving a speech in front of other people, and
And
then
his
he
mom.
and his mom was there. His dad had died a bunch of
Right.
years earlier, so but yeah, the meme came about because he was talking about his mom, and he wasn't talking about Viola Davis, which
Right.
made a very good impersonation of his mom, but great actress. I love her.
Yeah.
She's great. Matt Damon,
amazing.
great.
The guy, who I liked a lot, and I always like him. What's
Jason
that guy?
Bateman.
Bateman.
I love that guy.
Dude, he's so funny. Like, even when he's not being funny, to me, he's funny. Like, when he would go into the office, it is true, though. Like, he did sometimes feel like an irony movie or like a what do they call that when it's when something is satire type shit. Like he will come in and he's like, "All right, so what's up? No, I'm not going to accept that. No." It was just like it was funny, man. Jason Bateman. He's like, no, that's not gonna happen. No. Okay, how are we gonna do this? We can't do this now. We're not gonna be able to. And with his hair like just flowing, but he's always great.
He is great. I love him. He did. He was what? He was the director of the Nike basketball side. I don't remember. What was his?
Yeah, he was like a decision maker type shit. One of the guys that
And he still like threw a little funny lines, and
was
he's great. I
he's
love
great. You know
Bateman.
who else I was so happy to see? Who? You know?
Chris.
Chris Tucker. Oh
Chris
my
Tucker.
god. Bro, Chris Tucker. And he was like cool as hell too. He was like, man,
He was the
I
only
love Chris
brother in
Tucker.
there.
What?
He was the only brother in there.
In Nike?
Apparently, it was because he was the only black person other
Right.
than
Right. But damn,
But
he was so good, man. And I wish he would have kept making movies. I don't know I don't know what happened in his life, but man, he's one of my like the funniest people.
isn't
When
he doing a Rush Hour movie now
I'm not
with
sure. They
Jackie
did three
Chan?
of them.
I thought I heard that they were gonna make a new Rush Hour with him and Jackie Chan.
Man, I remember,
Chan.
bro, when I that first one, he's so funny, bro.
Rush Hour 4.
Oh, they're
It's
making it?
coming.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Man, that's so good.
But I mean, this what we're talking about is it's not about Rush Hour,
Yeah, I
but I
should
don't
have
think
saw
it will
it.
be as funny or out there as the
Yeah,
first
but
three.
the thing is, you can't, like on the first one. I mean, just to tell you how a different time it was and how crazy this movie is. On the first one, Jackie Chan says the N word, like straight up, no love. So that's like that movie. Well, that movie was just in a different time, and the chemistry between them two. But yeah, let's get back to the Air movie. Chris Tucker, amazing.
I think everybody did a great job. Even Marlon Wayans.
Oh, Marlon Wayans, I
He
forgot
has a
who's that.
very small part, but I think he was like, for a second, I'm like, who's that motherfucker? And then I'm like, it's Marlon Wayans, and he's funny. I've seen him live. Very
You
good
seen him stand
stand up.
up?
Yeah, him and
I
his
really
brother.
like his stand up.
Yeah,
He's so funny. And then I remember also like the first scary movie, I think it's
scary movies. Yeah.
scary movie when he's the one smoking weed. Yeah, no, he's so funny, man. Yeah, he had a great character here. He was more like a more serious one. You could really feel, I mean, he's a great actor and so many good actors and like good chemistry in this movie in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. The well, at the end of the movie, they said that if it was because of, let's say, Marlon Wayans' character in real life, that Michael ended up kind of taking the decision to go to Nike because he
It was who's Marlon Wayans,
Marlon Wayans' character,
who
which I
was
can't
like
remember
the
his
his
name.
like it was the Olympics coach or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Just give me a quick second.
George Revelin.
Chris Tucker in the building. Chris Tucker, man, killing it. But yeah, Marlon Wayans' character is the one that like makes them decide to go with Nike.
He was a coach for the U.S. Olympic team, and he was also a coach in like high school and college.
Okay, so let me ask you this: don't you think that in the movie it would have been nice to know what Michael was thinking when these decisions were being made? Because I know you say, okay, no, he wasn't in the thing, but it's like that whole thing didn't happen without him talking about it.
Right,
And you want to
right.
know what was the process that he went through from saying, I'll never wear Nikes, because he was this kid that was like, man, Nike, you know what
Fuck
it was for
that.
him? Nike was like Skechers to us when we were kids.
Dang.
Is,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
you're
is that a
right. You're
right way
right.
of putting it?
I think so.
If your mom bought you Skechers, bro, you were fucked.
You would have
I
been
mean,
like,
now-
Michael, I'm not gonna wear that shit.
Now I could wear Skechers, right, and go to a grill or New Balances because we're fathers. I mean, I'm not a father yet, but I have that look, right? But back in the day, having Skechers. So for Michael, having Nike was like, no, Adidas was hot.
Right, right.
So I would want to know, because they don't show that, how the fuck he changed his mind. Like, what did he say? Like, you know what, mom, this shit is gonna get me to the next level. Or his mom telling him, and I feel like that was a flaw in the movie. I'm not going to
Well,
take that back.
maybe the mom took the decision. Maybe when they talked towards the end of the movie, how she's like, "Oh, we want a percentage." That can't be coming from Michael.
And
You
also,
know?
I want a percentage. They never even spoke about the number. They just said, oh, okay, no, she was a percentage. You need to talk about what's the number. That's like the most
Well,
important part.
Now we know that it's a lot. Now we know that it's a lot. So
Do they, do,
I mean,
Do
They
they
don't
say it
mention
at
it in
the
the
end?
money in the movie. No,
They
no,
don't
no. They
mention
don't
it, right?
mention it. But
I think that, oh, now
nowadays,
they don't do it purposely, right? So we don't know how much it's taking. But to me, the way the movie is as of now makes it look like Michael didn't have any fucking say in this. And if that's the case, if you tell me no, that's really what happened. This motherfucker didn't say shit about it. His mom did everything. Okay, then I say, you know what? You did a biopic that's accurate to the fucking centimeter. But if you tell me no, bro, if Michael calls me tomorrow, he comes to Madrid. He's like, hey, bro, what's good? Where can we eat some good croquetas and tortilla española? Right? And I'm like, yo, bro, quick question. Back in the day when you joined Nike, did your mom decide everything? Or did you were like, oh, wait, no, I kind of like this now. Oh, no, wait. Oh, they're going to give me this. Oh, and I can make my own name and I can put my own shoes and we can make a line. Fuck, that's actually what kind of want. Man, that's what I've been wanting, bro. I wanted to do the Jordan retros and Jordan 17s. I would want to see that. So now, am I turning you around now, or you still think that the movie's fine like that?
maybe there's a second part or two.
No, I think that maybe it's worth if you made it like that. It's worth I think we're missing a Michael Jordan movie. We don't have a Michael Jordan movie.
Well, we have the documentary that came out in
Yeah, but I don't think the dance,
the Last Dance,
which is
I
amazing.
great. One of the best sports documentaries I've ever
One
seen
of the best.
because it really goes in depth, and he's a very private person. So for him to open up and actually sit down and do this documentary was a big deal. And I think that it came out at the perfect moment during the pandemic where there was no sports going on and everybody focused all their attention into that. That's why the ratings were so high and the documentaries were doing so great. I think it's still on Netflix, at least in the US. So it's a Netflix / ESPN documentary about Michael. But I think that shows more of the player side. It's not
And it
personal.
also shows more of the Bulls and the
The
championship.
Bulls, and then when they won the golden medal for the Barcelona Olympics and the Dream Team, and it's more of the player side that rather than the personal. But again, if you want to see a very personal Michael Jordan movie, Space Jam,
Okay.
he's very good friends with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Did you see the second one?
I did with
With
LeBron.
LeBron? Was it good?
No,
Okay.
they wanted to do Michael, and Michael's Michael, LeBron's LeBron.
When I heard that the bunny character wasn't gonna have tits, I was just like, all right. And no ass, I was just like, all right. Get your movie and fucking return it. I don't want it.
I have to stop. I can't say it. I want to say it, but I have
No,
this.
it's okay.
that's
I
not
mean, if
letting
you
me.
have things inside you that are stopping you, then you gotta follow that. That's your instinct. No, but going back to the movie, yeah. But my problem again, that big flaw, which is Michael's not shown. That's my big flaw. And then the other thing is Ben Affleck's character to me sometimes is not real. It's too it's like this guy's telling him about the money he needs, and then he goes into a quote about some shit. And I can understand if maybe he was like that, fucking, he would go into some LSD type shit where he would talk about, oh yeah, the Buddhas will come and the answers will follow. But to me, a lot of the movie, he almost feels like he's not even a real character, and that's one thing that bothers me. I don't have that problem with any other character there, and maybe it could be my bias, but I don't think so because I am giving him props for the movie in general. I think he directed a good movie. I liked it. I liked the takes that he had on the office there of Oregon, seeing the trees, the cinematography, very much looked like the 80s. And he did a lot in putting a lot of shots of things of the day. For example, like a convenience store showing the chocolate bars and the magazines that would be there at that time. All those props really were well made. All that thing you really felt in the 80s. The music, the gadgets that existed then. I think it was really well made in that sense. They were dressed the part. I mean, But I just didn't like that part of him that he just didn't seem believable and almost seemed like a troll of his own character.
Well, I think I do think. Listen, I've never seen anything about Phil Knight. I know he has a book. He has made a bunch of interviews. So, but I've never seen a real long interview about Phil Knight. I'm pretty sure there is, but Phil Knight is, well, the owner of Nike, of course, but he has that West Coast viva la vida kind of fuck everything. There's a bunch of pictures of Phil Knight like in his desk with no shoes, just how they portrayed him in the movie. And maybe maybe Ben Affleck was going a little bit above, but I think there has to be some real shit. Like maybe he did talk like that. Maybe he was very bohemian, if you will. It's like very. I think they got the West Coast part of it correct. Now I don't know if he got the character correct, but I think it was. I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't think it was the best. I liked it. I laughed. I think it was satire, kind of like making fun of him, but at the same time being real about him a little bit. So I wasn't mad about it.
Well, I'm not
I do
bothered.
think it was a little bit overacted, if you will.
Okay, I mean, I'm not bothered because it's cool if we have different perspectives, and it's actually better. It makes it for a more interesting podcast. Um, yeah, those were the only things. Everything else I really liked. Matt Damon is always funny. I like the fact that he's like in that movie. He's a little chunky. He's a little fat. So it kind of makes me feel like okay. I mean, I'm kind of there.
I can do it too.
Yeah. I really like his character. You could really feel his realness, which again I didn't feel with Ben Affleck. But anyways, I wanted to mention, man, some of the jokes here were amazing. When he's calling Michael's agent, right, who's like this piece of shit guy, you can like tell you, he's like, hey, bro, so no, he's gonna go with Adidas. Adidas, Adolf is in the name. He's like, no, he's Addy. He's like, this guy was part of like the Nazi youth group. I didn't know they were gonna go that hard. Like, it makes me feel that movie has some sponsorship with Nike to try to fuck Adidas. Because I mean, that rivalry is still going today. I mean, even though Nike,
Yeah.
would you say Nike topped them? I mean, even though Adidas is also high, like wasn't Kanye with them?
Yeah. I
Which is ironic because
I
Kanye,
don't. Yeah. I don't know what's bigger. I think nowadays Nike is way bigger than Adidas, but Adidas is still big, and you recognize Adidas anywhere, and you also recognize Nike anywhere. So I think they're both the
yeah.
high level. I think I have a monster in my door. That's why you're hearing.
Would you
hearing
would you
that.
say Adidas and Nike are the top two? Or would you
I
say it's
think
broken
so.
down more? I mean, obviously there's a lot more brands today, but would you say they're still like they're the top two? Because Converse, I wouldn't put them up there, right? Actually,
Well,
Converse was
Converse
bought,
is
but was
is
bought by
part of
Adidas,
Nike
right?
now.
Or it's
Yeah,
Nike?
Nike. Yeah, Nike instead of Nike.
Is it
What's the
Nike?
other one? Or Adidas? No, son Adidas or Nike.
No, I'm saying is it Nike or Nike?
I think it's Nike.
Okay, because I always say Nike.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
They even mention it in the movie
Oh, they are
about the
the
how to say Nike.
pronunciation.
Yeah, pronunciation of the brand. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's after Adidas and Nike. I think it's Puma, maybe.
Yeah.
Those are the three biggest brands right now, I think. And I think what makes it bigger, believe it or not, I think is soccer too. Soccer is a sport that's played everywhere in the world, unlike maybe basketball, football, or baseball. So having the soccer brand on Adidas or Nike, I think it's gonna make your brand show more. Same with Puma, and then there's lesser brands like I don't know, Atletica. Remember when
No,
Venezuela had
I remember
yeah.
that, but like Under Armour, which is
Under
growing a lot
it's
with The
growing.
Rock. No, but I think you know what with football or soccer, the cool thing about it is that because it's not the format like in America where the whole league needs to wear one brand, brands have a lot more chance to be shown because they can sponsor different teams which have different economic situations, and I think that gives a better, to me it's better, but I mean it also gives a different visual, right? When you look at a baseball game, even though they have different uniforms, they all look like they're part of something that's the same. When you look at a football, like if you look at a Champions League game from like a team in Italy and like for example the final, right? It's gonna be Manchester City, AC Milan, Italy and England.
Inter Milan.
Sorry, yeah, Inter Milan. The blue one, right? The blue one.
The blue and black, yes.
The blue and black. They play in the same stadium, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
Same city, same stadium,
That's
same
the weirdest
colors.
shit I've ever seen in my life. Like you see those uniforms, and it's like literally like it's like two tribes going at each other. Like they're very different. And if you go like to like Turkish league teams or South American teams, it's a lot more colorful too.
Yeah. I think that's great. Imagine just seeing like, for example, the New York Yankees with Nike, and then I don't know, the Boston Red Sox with Adidas, and then having different brands. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Different kind of jerseys maybe, but I think Americans are more traditionalistic. Yeah. So if you see like a lot of their uniforms don't change, like the Yankee, New York Yankee pinstripe is one of the most famous uniforms ever.
Now I do gotta say, even though I like it, the soccer form, like I guess I wouldn't really want it to change, because I also like the way that like a baseball in the United States looks, and it's also cool to see the contrast. And then you see a baseball game in the Caribbean, and it's a whole different thing. You're doing cocaine in the bleachers, which is fine. I mean, we support.
The good thing about, or the bad, I mean, it depends on how you see it, right? Soccer jerseys change every year. Barcelona is going to have a new jersey. Real Madrid is going to have a new jersey every single year. And that makes people want to buy it. That's what selling more jerseys. I mean, I would have to see the numbers, which I usually don't. So I just throw numbers around.
Right.
But I think baseball jerseys sell a lot too, even though they're the same jersey basically every year.
It's a different feeling. It's a different thing. And it's also different people with different sort of cultures. But yeah, I mean, one thing we do at the end of the review and analysis, we give a Broski Doodles Richter scale score. So 1 to 10, we give the movie a score. Now, at the beginning, it might be scary to you because you're like, wait, what's my baseline? Right. It was my baseline. If I give this thing too much of a high and then later I get one that's even better, but it's okay. You little by little, you will get regulated, but don't fuck it up. People are watching, they're leaving comments. I'll go first.
Okay.
If you want, so that you can get at least a baseline of me. But again, you're still liable for your own decisions. The score that I give it, taking into account everything I've said about Ben Affleck, I've been saying it like...
But one thing though, Ben Affleck is not the main character.
No, he's not. Okay.
Just so people, we're talking a lot about him, but he's not the main character.
No, people that are watching this should have watched the movie. If you didn't, then this is like a total spoiler. But yeah, I mean, the people that have been watching this for a while know that these reviews, you got to watch them after you watch the movie. But there are some crazy fucks that take LSD and just listen to the podcast so that they don't have to watch the movie. And it's kind of like a 2-in-1. But again, those are for crazy fucks that take LSD, which I'm cool with. They're friends. They cut the grass in the community. All right, not because they're Mexican or anything. In Madrid, everyone cuts the grass. I'm going deeper. Okay, so I will give this movie a 6.5.
Oh shit! Okay.
And just so you know, that's not bad.
Okay.
Like imagine the best movie you've fucking seen in your life, right? That's the 10.
Okay.
So don't go too crazy. Don't get excited. I know your dick might be hard right now, but don't go crazy.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. My rating was higher. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking 8, but once you put it as think about your best or the best movie that you've ever seen, that's right. This is definitely not the best movie I've ever seen. And Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't deserve the 8. And I think the 6.5 is where I'm gonna stand.
Don't feel tempted to follow what I say, right? Because people
No,
also
but-
want you to have your own personality, right?
Right, you're right. You're right. So this is my first one. I'm still getting my feet wet.
Am I being too hostile here?
I wanted to say 8 because I thought it was a great movie. But once you said think about every single movie that you ever watched, it's just up there. Maybe not. Would I watch it again? Probably yes. So
Okay.
let's stick with 6.5.
Okay.
I don't want to go too high now because I'm scared.
No, it's cool. In the
little
future,
bitch.
we'll leave it at 6.5. What we do is we add the scores and then we divide them so that we can get an average. So in this case, 6.5, 6.5, the average is 6.5. But if we would have gotten like 6.5 and 8, people know about the math. People that listen to this know simple math, which is cool, because it's part of what you kind of need. So, okay, at 6.5 for this movie, I don't think it's unfair, okay? Keep in mind, we are professional reviewers, and we are going to be hard on these movies. So, I mean, that's just how the game goes. Thanks again, Broskidoodles, for tuning in. I really want to know your comments about Chef Maurice. Okay, like I said, he's still at the mercy of your comments. So you have the power to end a man's career right now, and I dare you because I know that he will succeed because people already love Chef Maurice. So yeah, thanks for joining. Nice hat. The Broskidoodles. We out. Peace.